Hello everyone, welcome to Miss Lee's class. Today we're going to learn how to factor trinomials with A. A is coefficient of x squared. So this one form trinomial of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. To factor this, the method is very similar to the one we did before. So we're going to find the number that add to b and multiply to a times c. It's not just c this time. This time we have to find the number that multiply to, numbers that multiply to a times c. Okay? So for example, if you have 3x squared plus 17x plus 10, so you're going to find the number that add to 17 and multiply to 3 times 10. What is it? 30. So what number would you choose? What numbers would you choose? I'm going to choose 15 and 2. When you multiply them, it becomes 30. And when you add them up, it becomes 17. So positive 15 and positive 2. There are two methods. Decomposition method. So to do decomposition method, you're going to split 17 into two terms, 15x plus 2x. So let's rewrite everything. And everything else is the same. You just group those two up, and factor out GCF. Then x plus 5. And again, factor out GCF, which is 2. Then x plus 5 again. So bracket. So therefore, it is 3x, x plus 5, plus 2, x plus 5. Right? Okay, then we're going to factor out the bracket. So x plus 5, factor it out. And the leftover is 3x plus 2. 3x plus 2. So this is how to factor trinomials with a coefficient of x squared. We actually did very similar trinomial last class. Do you guys remember that? We did this kind of question. But this is actually not the same, because once you factor out GCF, so they have GCF, they have common factor. Each term, they have common factor. Once you factor out the common factor, GCF, it becomes a trinomial with no coefficient 1 as x squared, right? So this is not really same as the one we're learning right now. It doesn't have GCF. When it doesn't have GCF, you have to use this method. Find two numbers, add to 17, and multiply to a times c, 3 times 10. Right, everyone? And we can also use crisscross method. So to use crisscross method, what you're going to do is you're going to find the number that multiply to 3. Find numbers that multiply to 3. So 3 and 1. And find number multiplied to 10. Then it will be 2 and 5. And what you're going to do is you're going to do cross multiplication. Don't forget to put positive sign because it's positive. So let's do cross multiplication. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 1 times 5 is 5. Then add them up. It becomes 11. It should become 17, not 11. So this is not a correct pair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it. So I'm just going to write 5 here and 2 here. And let's do cross multiplication. So 3 times 5 becomes 15. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them up, becomes 17. Therefore, this is correct pairs. So this is positive, positive, and you write x and x. The answer will be bracket, bracket, 3x plus 2 and 1x plus 5. So either way, you get the same answer, right? You get the same answer. The order does not really matter. So you can just put 3x plus 2 first or x plus 5 first. Does not really matter. So there are two ways, decomposition method or crisscross method. Just use either method. If this is too confusing, you don't have to use this. Just stick to decomposition method. Okay? So this is faster, but some students find this method too complicated. Too hard to understand. So if you don't understand how to do this, just stick to decomposition method, right? Okay, in general, decomposition method, find two numbers that add to b and multiply to a times c. Don't forget there's a multiplication sign here. Rewrite the expression with the x term replaced with two found numbers. So here, what we did is we rewrote this x term. So it becomes 15x plus 2x. Factor the first two terms. So we group first two terms and last two terms. We factor out GCF. Factor the first two terms and last two terms separately with their GCFs. Factor the common binomial. This is the common binomial, right? Factor the common binomial GCF from both terms. Check by expanding. You can check this by expanding it. So let's check it. So x plus 5, 3x plus 2, 3x squared, 2x, 15x, 10. Then 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. Okay? Alright, so this is the same as the original polynomial. So it's right answer. So when you check, just expand it again. Okay? Example 2. Example 1. Factor and check. Okay, so I'm going to do decomposition method for this one and crisscross method for this one. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to try either method to solve the problems, okay? Alright, have you guys tried those two questions? Let's do it together. So here, we're going to find two numbers that add to negative 10 and multiply to 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to choose negative 6 and negative 4. Okay? So when you multiply them, it becomes 24, positive 24. And when you add them up, it becomes negative 10. Negative 10x becomes negative 6x, negative 4x. And you're going to group them up. So first two terms, I'm going to factor out GCF, which is 3x, GCF, which is 4, and then you're going to factor out the bracket. Then it becomes x minus 2, 3x minus 4. Okay? Next, so what we're going to do is using crisscross method to solve the problem. So as I said, if you think this is too hard, just stick to the decomposition method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find two numbers that multiply to 8 and two numbers that multiply to -5. Here. Then positive, negative. This is positive, positive. Let's multiply 5 times 4. That is 20. And let's multiply 2 times -1. That is -2. Add them up. It becomes 18, positive 18. So this is a correct pairs. So what we're going to do is write down A here, bracket here, and just rewrite it. 4A minus 1, 2A plus 5. So this is how you solve a problem using crisscross method. Okay, note. If the two numbers that add to B and multiply to AC are immediately obvious, check all the factor of AC until you find the right pair that add to B. So it's trial and error. So you have to keep trying until you find the correct pairs. So there's no faster way of doing it. So you have to just keep trying, trial and error. All right, everyone? Let's move on. Okay. So again, I want you to pause the video and try those questions. Okay, let's go over it together. So what you're going to do is I'm going to use decomposition method for this one and crisscross method for this one. So decomposition method. So what you're going to do is you're going to find two numbers that multiply to that add to 7 and multiply to 12. So one number is it? I'm going to choose 4 and 3. Okay, 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 times 3 is 12. So group those two up and factor out the GCF. Group those two up and factor out GCF. Okay, and factor out x plus 2. Then the leftover is 2x plus 3. All right? Okay, next. Let's use crisscross method. So 7. 7 times 1. And 9, I'm going to 3 times 3, but we have to put negative sign somewhere. So if I put negative sign here, it becomes 21, and -3, it becomes positive 18. So you have to do trial and error. So I just put negative sign here, and luckily I found the correct pair, right? What we're going to do is we're going to put A and A here, close the bracket, and 7A minus 3, A plus 3. So this is the answer. Okay, so you can check the answer by expanding it. I want you to try it by yourself. I'm not going to do it right now. So you know how to expand it using FOIL, right? So using FOIL, expand it and check if it is same as the original polynomial. Okay? Next, we have 6a cubed plus 7a squared minus 10a. Before we start, I want you to think about this. Does this polynomial have GCF, common factor? Yes, it does. What can we factor out? A. It becomes 6a squared plus 7a minus 10. Okay, so let's use crisscross method for this one. I'm doing 3 times 2 and 5 times 2. Let's try it. And I have to put negative sign somewhere. I'm just going to put negative sign here, positive sign here. 3 times Negative 5 is negative 15. 4 times 4 is 2 times 2 is 4. When you add them up, it becomes negative 11. So this is not a right pair. Then let's do negative 5 and 2 here. And let's do it again. 6 and negative 10. Add them up. It becomes negative 4. It's not a correct pair. Okay, then let's change everything from the beginning. So I'm going to do 6 and 1. And let's multiply it. 6 times 2 becomes 12. And 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. When you add them up, it becomes 7. So we finally found the correct pair. So everyone, again, if it doesn't work, you should keep trying. So do trial and error to find the answer. Okay, I'm going to write A and A here, bracket here. So the answer will be 6A minus 5 and A plus 2. So plus is here, all right? And don't forget the GCF in front of the bracket. So you have to write the GCF. Next, okay, look at B. Before we start B, we have to think about if there's any GCF. I see a GCF here. You can factor out 2. And now you're going to use the decomposition method to solve the problem. So you're going to find numbers that multiply to 5 times 2, which is 10, and add to negative 11. So I'm going to choose negative 10 and negative 1, right? Negative 11y becomes negative 10y minus negative 1y. 5y squared plus 2. So again, you're going to group those two up, and find the GCF from each group. So 5y, y minus 2, and here negative 1, y minus 2. You can omit 1. So factor out negative 1, y minus 2. And this is the common factor, so we're factoring out. Okay, but we're not done yet because we factored out 2 in the beginning. So I am going to write 2 here. So this is the answer. So up to here. So they are the same, and you have to add, you have to multiply 2 here. Okay? All right, last question. Factor 12xy squared plus 22xy plus 8x. It looks really complicated. So I want you to try this by yourself first. Pause the video, try this by yourself. All right, let's do it together. This one looks like it has a common factor, GCF. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out 2. 2 is a common factor of this polynomial. And I'm going to factor out, it has x in common. Factor out x. Then what we have is 6y squared plus 11y plus 4. Now, let's use crisscross method. So 6. 3 and 2, and 4 and 1, and multiply it. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 1 is 3, add them up, it becomes 11. So it's a correct pair. So we're going to write y and y, bracket. So the answer will be, you have to add 2x, 3y plus 4, 2y plus 1. So this is the answer. Everyone, this is not really easy concept, so you have to practice a lot, okay? So if you don't understand, if you can't understand how to do this, I want you to watch the video again. Watch this video again. And if you think you understood it, I want you to start doing your homework. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone.